Hey guys! So this is the lecture on the DVC Learning Style Inventory. It's going to be short, okay? So just a few minutes, hopefully. I do like to talk a lot, so I'm sorry if it's too long, but let's see what we can do here. So you're going to take this DVC Learning Style Inventory. You answer a series of questions, and then you will get your results. And your results will only include your learning style. And so I kind of wanted to go over all the different learning styles and also let you know that some people are going to get multiple learning styles, like you're equally both, or they're so similar that you can use strategies from both types. So let's go over the four types. So the first type is visual verbal. These are people that do best like with school type of stuff. So like reading books. They learn well from reading a book. Reading is probably something they like to do, just period. They don't do as well with graphs and charts and things like that. So they would prefer just to have a book with text. And also, like if they go on to find how to do something, they're more likely to look up like the WikiHow, where it kind of it gives you verbal instructions. And there are pictures too, but they don't necessarily need the pictures. They just really need the written instructions on how to do something. So, like if I'm trying to put a desk from IKEA together and I'm a visual verbal person, I would be very frustrated because IKEA does not give written instructions. They only give like diagram instructions. And I feel like if you're a visual verbal learner, that would be really stressful because you might not be able to figure out how to put the thing together. But maybe you could look up online and see if there are written instructions somewhere that some nice person has put up for you. So visual verbal, they tend to do best with things that are verbal. So they do best just taking notes, like plain old style, like just let me do some paragraph notes. That'll work good for me. I'll just read them back later. Or like outline notes would work good for visual verbal. Even like flashcards work pretty good because it's like words on one side, words on the other side. So they're good. Of course, I would like you to make sure you read over what different study skills work best for visual verbal learners if you're a visual verbal learner, okay? So then next we have visual nonverbal learners, okay? Visual nonverbal learners are kind of similar to the visual verbal learners except for they're not really so into the reading part as they are into the visual part. So they prefer, like a PowerPoint presentation or a Prezi presentation, just something that's visual. A video works, diagrams, and so the reading in the book isn't as helpful as maybe some of the graphs and diagrams of that display kind of what you're supposed to be learning. So if you ever wondered why there's text and also these graphs and charts and figures, it's because some people need those in order to really understand the information fully. And visual nonverbal learners are those people. They do best with like color coding stuff because they like to kind of flag things. So I've actually seen visual nonverbal people come to lectures with like 10 highlighters or 10 different colored pens, and they take different notes in different colors, and it's all kind of color coded. And for me, I'm like, well, that's crazy. I don't think I could handle all of that. But for a visual nonverbal, all of that stuff makes complete sense and it's helpful to them. So if it's helpful to you, then do it. If it's not, then don't worry about it. Okay, so next we have the auditory learners, and auditory learners learn best by hearing things. So they're the kind of people that like you say something once and they're able to remember it 10 years later, word for word what you said. And I actually have a cousin like this, and it's really frustrating for me because I have no idea what I said 10 years ago. But he's like, you said, and then he quotes me, and I'm like, that does sound like something I would say. But I can't do that. So I get a little bit like, A, jealous, and B, a little bit creeped out because I can't even remember what I said yesterday, let alone 10 years ago. So auditory people are, I would say they're blessed. And I think they're blessed because I'm not like that. I think all of us kind of look at the other learning styles and we're like, damn, they've got it pretty good over there. Like, visual verbals, they do good in school and school's kind of set up for them. And visual nonverbals like do pretty good in school too. School's sort of set up for them too. They got PowerPoints and all kinds of videos. Auditory, oh my God, school is for you. Lectures are your thing. Lectures are the way that's going to get you through everything. So you just want to bring like a tape recorder with you and record the lecture if you're in an in-person class. If you're in an online class, then guess what? You can look at it as many times as you want to, or you can listen to it as many times as you want to, and feel free. Like, you can watch this video as many times as you need to get the information down. And if you're an auditory person, sometimes listening to it more than once will help reinforce what you've heard before. But again, like I said in another video recently, coming with a positive attitude, no matter what learning style you are, is going to help you tremendously. So if you're an auditory person and you're coming to school going, oh, I hate school, then you may not remember everything that you're hearing. But if you come positive, like, I can't wait to learn, I'm so excited, you may find that it's a lot easier to remember what people said. Okay, so the things that work best for auditory learners are quiet. So like, they can't have any audio interference while they're studying, because a lot of times studying is them recalling information they've heard, and if there's noise, then that's going to interfere with that process of recollection. So I would say that auditory learners are probably the learning style that really needs complete silence. Other learning styles may vary depending on the type of people that are in there. Like, I know visual verbals, a lot of them prefer quiet. Visual nonverbals, a lot of them prefer quiet, but a lot of them also prefer having some background noise too. So keep that in mind. All right, so past auditory here, we are going into the tactile kinesthetic learning style. So tactile kinesthetic learning style is a hands-on learning style. So these are people that learn best by doing stuff. So they might be really great at things where, like, let's say you get a job working at Taco Bell, right? Just watching the other employees doing their job. Tactile kinesthetic person can easily pick up on what they're supposed to do just by watching other people, which is kind of nice. Whereas like maybe a visual verbal person's like, do you have a manual that I could read that tells me what I'm supposed to do on this job? And a visual nonverbal is like, do you have an instructional video I could watch? Auditory people are like, just tell me what I need to do. Okay, so you can kind of see the difference there. Tactile kinesthetic students tend to have a struggle with school because school is really built for the other learning styles, primarily for visual verbal learners, but over time we've kind of adapted things to fit the other learning styles. I feel like tactile kinesthetic often gets overlooked, but as a teacher now, I can tell you I've had a lot of training in how to incorporate strategies for learning for tactile kinesthetic students, so that it is a more hands-on experience where you're actually doing stuff. So you find like a lot of the assignments in this class are geared towards you. If you're a tactile kinesthetic person, I make you do things. So you've got to play Jenga, you've got to juggle, you've got to create a block structure, you've got to do discussions where you're talking to other people, you've got to do journals, and all of those things that I'm making you do are things that are designed to help you learn the material while also kind of having fun, having a good time. So I really invite you, tactile kinesthetics, to see kind of the way that I incorporate like doing stuff into the learning for this class, because you may be able to adapt some of the things that you learn from this class into your habits for studying. So I just actually did a lecture on note taking recently, and in that lecture I talk about how you should go over your notes within 24 hours. And this is really for tactile kinesthetics especially. The other learning styles, yes, definitely go over your notes too. But for tactile kinesthetic people, it's imperative, meaning of the utmost importance. It's necessary for you to actually review your notes within 24 hours and then continue to review your notes in their entirety for the whole semester as you continue through. So the first day you should open up your notes and memorize just the first day. Then the next day you put the next day's notes in, and then you memorize the next day, and then back to those beginning and you memorize those two, and you just keep adding on. And every time you add on a new set of notes, you still go through all the older notes as well. That is something that you can actually do that will help you to memorize stuff. Tactile kinesthetic people do better when they can read out loud, or if they have some background noise in the background. So like I actually used to do all my writing at Starbucks. I don't anymore because of COVID, but I liked having like that just atmosphere where I heard people having conversations, that I'm making coffee in the background, there's music playing, and normally the Starbucks music is kind of like not the type I would normally listen to, so it's not distracting to me. If I was listening to music that I was really interested in, it might take away from my ability to focus and pay attention to what I need to pay attention to. So having that background noise for me really helps me to focus. So maybe have something on in the background that you don't really care so much for. It's just extra noise. Or get those noise canceling headphones that kind of keep out outside noise and just play like maybe, I don't know if you guys have heard of this before, but there's this stuff called black noise, purple noise, white noise. There's different color noises, right? They all kind of sound like shh, like TV static or something. But you put those on, they're on YouTube. So if you go to YouTube and just type in purple noise, it'll be like 12 hours of purple noise. And you could just put that on in your headphones and have the noise canceling, and you've got background noise, and you're also not bothering anybody, and you can focus on what you need to focus on. Reading your notes out loud, or reading the reading out loud, is going to help you to study if you're tactile kinesthetic, and also involving your body. So, and I used to do this not even knowing like, oh, this is a tactile kinesthetic thing and that's why it's helping me. But I used to actually go on a treadmill and walk while I would do my reading. And sometimes I would do my reading out loud, and the treadmill was in my garage, so it was really funny. I'm sure my neighbors thought I was insane, but they would walk by and they would just hear the treadmill going and me like reading out loud, and yeah. But I didn't care because it helped me get through college. It helped me learn what I needed to learn. So anyway, despite what learning style you have, there are a couple of things that I can offer that may be helpful to you in terms of studying. So let's talk about those. So the first one is what we call sensory tools. So I actually have a sensory tool here with me. Yes. This is, I don't know, I call him Mr. Bun Bun, but he is basically, he used to be a pen that my student made me. One of my students, Tina, made me this. Or maybe she just bought it and gave it to me. I don't know. But it looks homemade. It's very cute. And I used to use it as a pen. But now I don't really, it doesn't have any ink left in it. But I still keep it around. And, my son was like, Mom, why don't you throw that stupid thing away? And I'm like, because I use it. Okay, so how do I use it? While I'm working, I just play with this. So like if I'm reading, I'll just be reading, and I'll also be, feeling Mr. Bun Bun, and I don't know, it's nice. And I kind of like the contrast between like this part's hard and this part is, soft and snuggly. So it's nice to have that difference in between textures that I can, just kind of play with, and I enjoy that. But you can get whatever sensory tool you like or that works best for you. I have some other things that I use here at my desk just when I need to focus and I'm, really struggling. So I have just a paper clip here, and you would think, oh, it's just a paper clip. What's that going to do? Well, you know what? Paper clips are like a really acceptable item to carry with you. Like, so is a pen. This pen's kind of obnoxious, but so while I'm watching the lecture or, listening or reading, I just play with this. And it doesn't bother anybody. It's not noisy. It's not obnoxious. It's just something to do. If you're at home like you are now, you're not in class, you can just use stuff like clay. Like you can just get some clay, Play-Doh, whatever, and just kind of play with that while you're watching my lecture. It's like right now, just press pause and go find something to play with. Yeah, go find something. Seriously, just anything. Just something that is going to occupy your attention. Legos, whatever you got. I don't know what you keep around, but yeah, so I just kind of do, I usually straighten it out and then I try to like make it into something. But essentially, while I'm playing with this, it's keeping my hands busy and that's freeing up my brain to do other things. Because if my hands are just kind of sitting around, they want to do something. They're bored. They're like, please, let's play. So give them something to do. Another thing that you can do that's really helpful is you can chew gum or put something in your mouth that kind of keeps your mouth busy. I'll do sunflower seeds a lot because I'm not really a big gum person, but I'll do sunflower seeds and then I have to kind of like, open the seed with my teeth and take it out and put it, it's something to do. And it keeps my body busy so that way I can focus on what I'm listening to. Because otherwise I struggle. And I don't know if I told you guys this, but I do have really severe ADHD. I was able to get all the way through to my PhD and get my PhD. So even if you have ADHD, you can still do this. And by the way, I do not take medication for my ADHD because I don't think stimulants actually really help me very much. I don't feel like they help me focus any more than any of the other drugs I've tried for my ADHD. But what I have noticed is that just keeping my hands busy and sometimes my feet busy or my mouth busy, just keeping those things busy kind of allow me to focus. I did mention the white noise and the purple noise and that kind of stuff as well. I don't really listen to those myself, but I know they work for a lot of other people. What I do tend to do, which is maybe a little weird, there's usually a song that I'm really into. I'm into like different songs at different times, but there's always like one song that I really want to hear all the time. I'm just like so into it. And I can't stand it. And right now it's a song called Stingray. And so I just listen to Stingray over and over and over again. I'll just put it on a loop. And the thing that works for me about this is like it satisfies my brain because my brain's like, I want to hear Stingray again. And I'm like, again? Yeah, I do. I want to hear it again. While I'm working, like if I'm writing or creating, content where I'm having to, type a bunch of stuff, I will turn on Stingray, put it on repeat, and do my work. And it's like, I don't know, like it's my brain gets focused on Stingray and I'm like, oh yeah, Stingray, cool. And then after a little bit, after I've listened to it a couple times in a row, I'm like really able to focus in on what I'm supposed to do. And I know the song already because I've listened to it a bunch of times and I know it's just going to keep looping. So I'm not going to miss anything per se. It's like, I know I'm not going to miss anything. So I'm able to listen to that one song over and over and over. And eventually I stop hearing it and I stop even realizing I'm listening to it. And I'm so focused on working. That has been something that's really, really helped me with my ADHD to stay focused. And I feel like that would work for any learning style if you're struggling with focus, attention, and concentration issues, which a lot of us are, right? Let's be honest. It's really a struggle sometimes to stay focused. So I feel like most of the time, using sensory tools like this, putting something in my mouth, listening to something, those tools tend to help more than anything else. And of course, the obvious time management skills help as well. So if you only have a certain amount of time to get something done, you're more likely to get it done. If you know you have tons of time to get something done, sometimes it's a little harder to do that. So I tend to create my own time pressure when I'm trying to do studying and things like that. So this morning, as I was like, okay, I have a list of stuff I need to do. One of those things is to create a couple of videos this morning for you guys. And before I did that, I had to kind of do some other things like, straighten up around my house and dishes and showering and, all the morning stuff that you do. So I told myself, okay, I've got this much time to do a shower, this much time to clean, this much time to whatever. And I set a timer. I actually have like a little timer I got at Daiso. It's a little Japanese store. Everything's like $1.50 to $3. It's very cheap. So I got a little timer from there. And so I'll set like a 15-minute timer and do something. So I basically give myself an hour to create 2 videos today. And it looks like I'm way under time. So I'm doing great. I think that if you are a student that struggles and you are only able to do your studying or your homework at the last minute because you need that time pressure to push you to do it. Otherwise, you won't get it done. If that's you, then I would really strongly urge you to try creating just a fake time pressure. Like, you have to get it done today because you've got other stuff going on. And I think part of that is a lot of us don't really schedule other stuff. Like we have school, we have work, and we don't really schedule the rest of our life. So we don't really know what's going on. We don't know when we're going to see our friends or when we're going to go do this or when we're going to go do that. So sometimes just kind of filling your schedule up a little more with, with meaningful things that you have planned that you want to do will give you the motivation to get it done. So for example, today I have a couple of friends coming out to visit me. One of them is actually my lawyer, so we're doing business slash also hanging out. And then one of them is my boyfriend. He's coming by later. So I know that I don't have tons of time to get everything done because they're going to be here tonight, and then they'll probably spend the night and they'll stay through Saturday, and then my boyfriend will probably stay through Sunday, and then next thing you know, it'll be Monday. And I don't want to have to like tell my boyfriend like, sorry, honey, I can't hang out with you because I have to create 2 videos right now. You need to go home. Like, I don't want to have to do that. So I try to create fun stuff that's going on my weekend. So that way it creates like sort of a time pressure. Like I have to get this done before the weekend comes so I can have fun on my weekend. That is really helpful as well. Okay, so I think 20 something minutes is a pretty good mini lecture, and I think that covers everything. Of course, I didn't cover every single thing that applies to every learning style. And again, like I said, learning styles can be combined. So you could be like auditory and tactile kinesthetic, or you could be auditory and visual verbal. I mean, any set of combinations could work. You could even have 3 learning styles that you're equally across the board, on board with. So I do want you to read through the materials about your particular learning styles. And when you get to the discussion, then you can share what you've learned and kind of share what study skills or what study techniques work best for you and which ones really don't. I think that'll be helpful for everybody because if we can all see sort of like, this is what I'm doing, this is what everybody else is doing, we're going to get some good ideas. So there's a lot of good ideas out there besides just what I have. So if you have a good study skill or a good study tip or something that really works for you, then please, please, please share it, because the more you share, the more you might be helping somebody else who's struggling with studying. Okay? All right, guys, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.